My name is Andrea Antoinette Jones, and today is August 16th, 2023. I am pregnant, I am African American, and I am homeless in the West Chase area with what God says is a $250 million lawsuit. I do not have a lawyer, and the citizens of the community are trying to take advantage of the fact that I do not have representation. I have a medical lawsuit about my pregnancy that is $180 million, and I have a lawsuit about my little boy that the Ku Klux Klan said they were raping to death in Conroe, Texas, and in Magnolia, Texas, with a Caucasian female named Cynthia Olvera that is $70 million. As I am recording this video, I have a EMS driver right now that says Houston Fire Red with a number 68 that is going down Westheimer Road, running sirens, trying to do operations on me and my unborn child with the Ku Klux Klan. They are trying to cause injury to my unborn child, where we have already suffered a great deal of pain as I have not been able to give birth to the baby on my own, causing me to have carried the child for an abnormal period of time. I want to tell you all what my day was like so that I can go into what all this video is about. Right now it is 1:32 p.m. It is August 16th, 2023. I was asleep at a bus stop here on Meadow Glen Lane and Walnutbend, or Meadow Glen Lane and Willcrest Drive, and I was sleeping at this bus stop from overnight. Now, as I was asleep at this bus stop, I had blankets, I had food to eat from people helping me with food yesterday. When I woke up this morning, people were swarming around the bus stop. People were trying to deliberately make a lot of noise, swarming past me, speeding past me. And I started collecting some of the license plate numbers because they are doing an operation to stage me outside to try to manipulate my case, to try to stop me from winning my lawsuit. They are also trying to stop me from pressing charges on the people that were raping my child, where they are trying to manipulate the situation to make it look like I could not have custody of my child and to help them to cover up raping my child. I was very weak, and I ate the food that I had from last night after I collected some of the license plate numbers of the individuals that were trying to do the setup operation with the Ku Klux Klan. Then I lied back down. I fell asleep. I woke up feeling very weak because of the heat from the sun. I'm in Houston, Texas. Then I recall the sirens as I was getting my bags organized to get dressed. They were surrounding me as I was combing my hair and putting on a little bit of makeup. I started to walk away from the bus stop, and I came here to the Taco Bell location where I am standing in the parking lot making this video. And I went inside of the Taco Bell. I only had $4 and some change to get something to eat. When I walked into the Taco Bell, there were a lot of people inside of the restaurant, which is a little abnormal. I was inside of the restaurant yesterday evening after they had the manager at the Wendy's location at the corner of Walnutbend and Westheimer Road close down the dining room, forcing everyone out of the dining room at 4:00 p.m. as I was releasing information about my case. I was using the resources inside of the restaurant, the Wi-Fi, and using the electricity to charge my cell phone. I also was purchasing food inside of the restaurant where they forced me out of the restaurant, where I was standing outside of the restaurant with my phone dying. Then I came here to the Taco Bell yesterday and I finished the rest of my videos where I was able to continue to release information on my channels. Then today I noticed so many people inside of the restaurant. I figured this is another operation. I went into the private ladies' restroom inside of the Taco Bell and I used the restroom. I pulled out my soap and my washcloth. I hurried and took a quick wash up. Then I put on a clean dress that I had in my bag and I came out of the restroom. I plugged up my cell phone. Then I went up to the kiosk to order me a couple of burritos. When I sat down and started eating my food, I heard the manager get on the phone and say that the city had called and said that they were going to be shutting off the water tomorrow from 8 o'clock to 5 o'clock p.m. That's when I knew that I needed to make this video to explain the operation that they are trying to do and why they would try to cut off the water after I had taken a wash up inside of the restroom. What they are trying to do is paint me to appear like I am dirty, where they are slandering me all over social media under videos about Cynthia Olvera raping my little boy, where they are saying that I am a drug addict. They are saying that I am a prostitute. They're calling me a bum, and they have tried to call me a mental patient. I am none of those things. So they are trying to manipulate the situation to try to make me appear like I am, so they could try to get away with raping my child and abusing me while pregnant with my baby that is alive in me. This location here is another location where they are doing the operation banning me from the McDonald's for using the restroom to do my hair and makeup in the morning from the bus stops, where they are trying to force me to look like I am a drug addict, and they were trying to stop me from getting people to help me with food, where they are trying to help the Ku Klux Klan to try to starve my baby to death. This is the Wendy's location that is also involved with the Ku Klux Klan operation. The manager and the entire staff are putting out of order signs on the restroom doors where the restrooms were working after an employee used a quarter to let me inside of the restroom yesterday. The toilets were working, the restroom was clean, and they tried to tell her not to let me into the restroom. It is a private restroom where they did not want me to take a wash up. I did take a wash up inside of the restroom when she let me go in. It was less than 5 minutes and they started banging on the door very hard. I told them that I would be right out and they kept banging very hard, where they're trying to have everybody forcing me to look dirty on the streets so that they could cover up that they said they were gang raping my child for racism. This is the location that closed down the dining area while I was sitting working on my case. This Target is here in the West Chase area, and they were trying to have me arrested by police for asking people to help me for food inside of the store. They made a falsified 911 call to police, and they falsely accused me of stealing out of the store. After my bags were checked by Houston police, they let me go. Then they gave me a trespassing warning, where I had also washed up inside of that bathroom. I did my hair, I did my makeup, and I went around the store asking people to help me with food, where they are trying to ban me from being able to use their restrooms and to find anyone to help us with food in the area. The Whole Foods location that is located in the same plaza as this Target here in the West Chase area, they are also involved with the operation with the Ku Klux Klan, where I was going into the restroom and freshening up, doing my hair and makeup there, and I would ask people for food as well at different times throughout the day, depending on whether I was able to get food from somewhere else, and they were having the store full of Ku Klux Klan members denying me help for the food. And then they had a manager named Kevin treating me as if I were a dog, telling me that I could not ask anyone to help me with food inside of the store while they were trying to starve my baby to death at the bus stops in the area. The HEB here in West Chase area is called the Royal Oaks HEB. They are one of the most heinous grocery chains involved with the operation. They were trying to call police on me inside of the store after I had asked a few people to help me with food. A manager was following me and he was yelling at me, telling me to get out of the store. He started calling the police. I told him, you guys are trying to help starve my baby in the area. And they even tried to have security officers harm me as I was leaving the property. The Walmart location on Kirkwood and Westheimer Road is involved with the operation. This chain is one of the more sneaky, conniving chains that is working with the Ku Klux Klan. They were having so many people doing operations to deny me food and follow me around the store, having their entire staff following me around the store. And then they staged me outside to not be able to get anyone to help me with food in the area where I had to flee to other areas. People are coming out of this apartment complex, the Warwick, and they're coming out of all of the apartment complexes and housing communities to help the Ku Klux Klan surround me, to try to kill my baby and cover up raping my little boy. Cambridge Place is another apartment complex where it is in the area where I am right now, and they are coming out of the apartment complexes as they are running sirens. They are alerting them to come out and do operations on me, pregnant on foot, or at the bus stop. West Chase Preserve is a neighborhood where they are doing the operations, and the Houston police are having criminals getting involved with trying to hurt my baby in the area. All of the apartment complexes and housing communities on Meadow Glen Lane and all of the neighborhoods here in Houston, Texas, have people coming out of their homes trying to help the Ku Klux Klan to try to abuse my baby to death. They have the civilians of the city trying to paint me out as a drug addict. So they are all trying to stop me from having anywhere to live in the city. And they are trying to stop me from having anywhere to wash my body so that they can try to help Cynthia Olvera try to lie on me to try to stop me from coming to custody court about my son, because Cynthia Olvera was raping my little boy with gangs of men for racism. Cynthia is having people say that she has custody of my son and she was raping him. The Galleria Mall is a location where I had been going in the area to sit down, charge my phone. I would do my makeup and I would ask people to help me with food in the food court. They got involved with the operation after seeing videos on my social media to try to set me up for the Ku Klux Klan, to try to starve my baby, to try to make me look bad, to try to stop me from using the restrooms inside of the mall, to make myself look presentable so that they could try to help the Ku Klux Klan try to paint me out as a drug addict on the streets and say that I was not pregnant. The city of Atlanta, Georgia is involved with the operation. My cell phone died, and it is now the same day, August 16th, but it is 7:51 p.m. And I am back inside of the Taco Bell location on Westheimer Road. So when my cell phone died, I just pushed a shopping cart around with my bags in it, pregnant, up and down Westheimer Road, asking people if they would help me with food. I was able to get a few people to help us with food. Then I ate at a Popeyes on Westheimer Road. My feet were killing me, and it was very hard for me to sit up and sit down in the booth. I walked back with the shopping cart. It's a shopping cart that I found here in the area, and there were cars swarming around me. The street was filled up like a parade. There were people of all different ethnicities, all different genders, male and female, different ages. It was like total chaos. People were swerving around, speeding. Then I sat down at a bus stop as I was on my way back to this area. I saw this little girl in the car with her mom while they were, I don't know if it was her mom or not, I just assumed it was, while they were parking, lining up at the stoplights. And the little girl just started pointing at me and waving, like, hey, like she knew me. And I waved back at her, even though it was kind of weird. And she pointed to her mom, and then she pointed at me. Well, she pointed to the woman that was driving, and she pointed at me, and she started waving. And I was like, okay, maybe she knows who I am. The people were swerving around me. They know who I am. So I walked back with the shopping cart all the way back to this Taco Bell location. I charged my phone up to about 20% inside of the Popeyes by a trash can. And now I'm sitting inside of the Taco Bell with a large drink, and I am about to finish the rest of this video. I am extremely exhausted, so I do not know when I am going to be able to post this video, but I know that God is with me. Now I'm going to continue. So Atlanta, Georgia is also involved with the operation where I had gone to Atlanta, Georgia to try to get refuge. Atlanta, Georgia forced me out of shelters, refused me into shelters. They left me outside on the streets of Atlanta, Georgia, posting videos on YouTube about Cynthia O'Vera raping my little boy with men here in Texas. Then they surrounded me in the city of Atlanta, Georgia, with police and gang members with the entire city, like they are doing now here in Houston, Texas. Then they were starving me pregnant, forcing me to beg them for food. They were trying to make me appear as if I were a drug addict on the street. And they were trying to rape me pregnant with my baby to try to paint me out as a prostitute. They had businesses involved with closing down restaurants, trying to refuse me to get food out of the restaurants. Little Rock, Arkansas is involved with the operation to try to starve my pregnancy and cover up Cynthia O'Vera raping my little boy here in Texas with the Ku Klux Klan. In Little Rock, they were trying to stage me outside with a family member to try to harm me with Arkansas police. I have family members in Chicago, Illinois, a specific family member, a cousin that is working with gangs here in Texas to try to kill my baby and me. And my cousin is also working with Cynthia O'Vera to help Cynthia O'Vera rape my little boy with gangs. My cousin knows that Cynthia O'Vera said that she was raping my little boy, And my cousin is involved with the gangs that were raping my little boy with Cynthia O'Vera. They said that they were raping him to death. My cousin is involved with trying to cover up that information. She was involved with saying that she was raping my baby to death with gangs and with Cynthia O'Vera, that they have a network of gang affiliations through the Black Freemason Brotherhood and the Ku Klux Klan. My cousin is also involved with trying to set me up to be murdered with these gangs. So she's involved with them doing the operations in Atlanta, in Texas, in Arkansas, and anywhere that I go in the country to stage me outside with gangs and KKK members so that they could rape my little boy. My cousin is involved with having a judge lie, saying that Cynthia O'Vera has custody of my little boy while they do operations all over the country to stage me outside with the Ku Klux Klan. My cousin is a female and she is involved with saying that she was giving my little boy AIDS and herpes with Cynthia O'Vera. My cousin is involved with the operation where they never wanted to return my little boy to me, where they said that their intentions were to rape him until he was dead. My cousin said that it was because I was protecting myself from a white person, and she said that she was a devil worshiper and that she worshiped white people. So she said that she was helping them to rape my little boy. Her name is Kiana Wiley. Kiana Wiley was in Chicago, Illinois, and she heard that I had hurt a white male in Texas who is the father of my children in self-defense. And Kiana started saying that she was helping them to rape my baby while they had me in the Montgomery County Jail in Conroe, Texas for protecting myself. While I was in the Montgomery County Jail for protecting myself, Kiana was outside of the jail helping them to rape my little boy. So Cynthia O'Vera is the mother of the white male who I hurt, and Kiana teamed up with Cynthia O'Vera saying that she was letting Cynthia rape my little boy with men here in Texas. And then Kiana made a oath with Cynthia O'Vera to set me up to be murdered inside of the Montgomery County Jail in Conroe, Texas. I made it out of the jail on all of the charges with the baby alive in me. And then Kiana tried to set me up to be murdered the first year that I was out of the jail with the baby alive in me. And she tried to set me up to be murdered in 2020, 2021 with the baby alive in me. And in 2022, she tried to set me up to be murdered last year with the baby alive in me. And God says that I have a multimillion-dollar lawsuit about the pregnancy. Last year, I was releasing videos about them raping my little boy all over social media, and he might be dead now. Kiana Wiley is involved with trying to help them cover up raping my little boy and trying to stage me on the streets as a drug addict. And I'm not using drugs, so they're trying to portray me as a drug addict. Kiana Wiley is now trying to stop me from winning a $250 million lawsuit. My mother's girlfriend, Vanessa, was involved with them refusing to bond me out of the jail on the charges for protecting myself inside of the jail. And Vanessa was involved with them abusing my pregnancy inside of the jail and saying that they were raping my little boy. When I was released on the charges, they denied me medical care and they abused me. And last year in 2022, there were celebrities that were involved, and Vanessa was still allowing them to abuse my pregnancy outside in Houston, Texas, trying to cover up that I was pregnant inside of the Montgomery County Jail in Conroe, Texas. for protecting myself. My sister, Shakina Jones, in Channelview, Texas, was involved with telling me that she was letting gangs of white men and black males from the Black Freemason Brotherhood raped my little boy to death, and he was only 22 months old when Shakina told me that she was letting all of the men on the Conroe police force rape my little boy to death with Austin Meador's mother, Cynthia O'Vera, here in Texas. The white man who I shot in the leg in self-defense in Conroe, Texas, is Austin Meador. Shakina was telling me that she was letting Austin Meador rape my little boy with the KKK and the Conroe Police Department while I was inside of the Montgomery County Jail for self-defense. She refused to bond me out of the jail, and she was allowing Cynthia O'Vera, who was living in Magnolia, Texas, to rape my little boy in her home, then to traffic my little boy to the Montgomery County jail to allow inmates and police to rape my little boy inside of the Montgomery County jail in Conroe, Texas. Cynthia O'Vera and Shakina Jones said that they were blood sacrificing me to the devil, to the Ku Klux Klan, saying that they were raping my baby to death and setting me up to be murdered for white people because I had hurt a white person. Cynthia O'Vera's home was in Magnolia, Texas. Her son, Austin Meador, was attacking me pregnant in Conroe, Texas, in my home, in the streets, in my community, and in a restaurant where I had gone for help. The Conroe Police Department were hiding 911 calls where I had been calling them, reporting that Austin Meador was assaulting me in my home. And they said that they raped my little boy to death with Cynthia O'Vera for protecting myself. The Conroe Police Department is involved with everyone trying to do an operation to say that I do not have custody of my little boy because the white males on the Conroe police force said that they were raping my little boy with Cynthia O'Vera because I had shot Austin Meador in the leg in self-defense. They said that they were Ku Klux Klan members and that they were letting everyone rape my little boy inside of the Montgomery County Jail, which is the jail that is in that jurisdiction in Montgomery County. The Black Freemasons here in Texas, the Black Freemason Brotherhood, and the Masonic Brotherhood said that they were raping my little boy to death. The White Masonic Brotherhood, who are Ku Klux Klan members, were calling themselves the Illuminati and said that they were all sodomizing my little boy to death with Cynthia O'Vera. The White Masonic Brotherhood is the brotherhood that is chasing me around Texas and trying to portray Cynthia O'Vera as the custodial guardian of my little boy in the Montgomery County Courthouse in Conroe, Texas, through a white male judge named Tracy Gilbert. Tracy Gilbert gave Cynthia O'Vera a custody document after she had already said that she had been raping my little boy to death with the White Masonic Brotherhood and the Black Freemasons. The Black Freemasons said that they were worshiping the Ku Klux Klan and that they were raping my little boy with Cynthia O'Vera. The Black Freemason Brotherhood told me that they had herpes and that they had AIDS and that they were transmitting those sexually transmitted diseases to my little boy, and he was only 2 years old. The Black Freemason Brotherhood told me that Cynthia O'Vera was handing my little boy over to them after she was raping him so that they could hold him as a hostage and they told me that they were going to mutilate him. The city of Houston, Texas is doing the operation all over the city of Houston, Texas, for everyone in the city of Houston, Texas, to set me up for Montgomery County, Texas. So, Montgomery County, Texas, and Conroe, Texas are very racist, and they were the ones that initiated raping my child. And when I came to Houston, Texas, I tried to get into a women's shelter, and they are involved with trying to help them cover up raping my little boy, refusing me into the women's shelters, and they are abusing my pregnancy outside, trying to help them cover up that I am pregnant. They are doing the operations with pretty much all of the blacks here in Houston, Texas, where I have been released on the charges. I have a lawsuit where God says that I have a $180 million lawsuit about my pregnancy, and the city of Houston, Texas is trying to manipulate the case by trying to stage me outside and abuse me. They are surrounding me with the baby alive in me, trying to kill the baby. Then they are trying to make me appear as if I am dirty and unkempt so that they can try to help Cynthia O'Vera cover up raping my little boy by trying to make me appear as if I am a drug addict on the streets. They have the CPS involved with helping covering up raping my child. They have all of their businesses involved, all of their communities, their civilians. It is all over social media. The Houston Area Women's Center is one of the main women's centers where homeless women go here in Houston, Texas, and they are involved with helping the Ku Klux Klan cover up raping my little boy by refusing me into the Houston Area Women's Center. And they are doing operations with the entire city to chase me around and abuse my pregnancy for racism. The Star of Hope is another women's center that is involved with refusing me into the women's center so that they can help Cynthia O'Vera and Joseph O'Vera try to cover up raping my little boy with the KKK here in Texas. They do not want me to be able to appear as a mother who is seeking custodial guardianship of my child because the KKK said that they raped him to death and he was a little boy. So they are trying to sacrifice me and murder me as the mother. Then they are trying to cover up that Cynthia O'Vera and Joe O'Vera were raping him by trying to make it appear as if Cynthia O'Vera just had permanent custody of my little boy, where they are trying to set me up to be killed right now with the Ku Klux Klan. The Montgomery County Courthouse is a complete snake pit where everyone inside of the courthouse needs to be arrested. The judge, Tracy Gilbert, is the Ku Klux Klan member that is allowing them to lie about raping my little boy. The Ku Klux Klan member, Patty Maginnis, was the judge that was over my criminal case. And then she let them take my little boy to gang rape my little boy to death, and then released me on the charges after Tracy Gilbert had given Cynthia O'Vera a custody document saying that she could have custody of my little boy while I was still in jail on the charges. After I was released, I tried to get Cynthia O'Vera to return my little boy to me, but Tracy Gilbert, a family court judge that was not Patty Maginnis, the criminal judge over my case that dismissed my case, he refused to make Cynthia O'Vera return my little boy to me, and Cynthia O'Vera said that she was raping him to death with the KKK. The city of Conroe tried to set me up to be murdered after the custody hearing where they did not return my little boy to me. The city of Conroe said that they were letting drug dealers, inmates, police, they were just gang members and Ku Klux Klan members that were mad because I had shot a white male in Conroe, Texas in the leg in self-defense, and they all said that they were raping my little boy to death. They started doing an operation to set me up to be murdered after Tracy Gilbert helped the Ku Klux Klan refuse to return my little boy to me after I was released on the charges. The city of Cairo is the one that is having everyone try to set me up to be killed. The Montgomery County Jail is the jail where they told me that they had brought my baby inside of the jail and started raping my baby for racism, and he was only 22 months old. They are the ones that are covering for Cynthia Vera. She is a KKK member, and she should not have had my child after her son Austin Meter was shot, and she said that she was raping my baby with correctional guards and police, inmates, and drug dealers. So the Black Freemason Brotherhood is helping to cover up something that heinous. They were holding me inside of the jail and they were starving me, telling me that they were raping my little boy to death. And they lied about the pregnancy. So I was released on the charges, and they continue to try to set me up to be killed from the county jail. And they have been continuing to cover up raping my little boy. The Child Protective Services in Texas and Houston and Montgomery County are involved with helping the KKK and the Black Freemason Brotherhood cover up raping my little boy. The Child Protective Services is involved with staging me outside as a mother after I have repeatedly called them, reporting to them that Cynthia O'Vera was raping my child. So they are trying to have everyone force me on the streets as a mother to try to stop me from being able to go inside of Tracy Gilbert's courtroom to make an appeal for Cynthia Vera to be arrested for raping my little boy, where they're just trying to make it seem like I am unfit and that I could not file charges against this woman for raping my child. And they are having the Houston Police Department involved with trying to set me up to be murdered because Cynthia Vera was raping my child with men. The CPS in Montgomery County is completely corrupt. The CPS in Montgomery County is completely corrupt. They were aware that Cynthia Vera was raping my little boy from the time that the police department got involved. There were Ku Klux Klan members saying that they were raping him, where when I contacted them, they told me that they would meet with me for me to give them the reports that I had already given Houston. Then they did operations to cut off my cell phone and surround me with gangs of pedophiles that tried to set me up to be murdered for the past year and a half. They are surrounding me, continuing to try to help Cynthia Vera and the KKK cover up raping my little boy for racism, where they have just been trying to set me up to be murdered because Cynthia was raping my child and it was with the KKK. It was for racism. He might be dead. So instead of them just doing their job and finding out where my son is, they're surrounding me, trying to set me up to be murdered with racist police. The Salvation Army is another women's center shelter that is involved, where they actually tried to set me up to be murdered inside of the shelter because the baby is still alive in me from the jail. So that is the evidence that Cynthia was raping my child as well, because they were lying about abusing the baby. So they're trying to have everyone lie about the pregnancy and then abused me while pregnant, and then they're trying to get away with raping my child as well. So they are desperately trying to stop anybody from saving the baby that I'm carrying so that they can try to get away with raping my little boy as well. The Ku Klux Klan is a hate group that they believe that Satan is their father. They believe that they should have a right to torture blacks here in America. So Cynthia O'Vera is saying that she is a grand witch in the Ku Klux Klan, and she was very wickedly saying that she was raping my child. And instead of Cynthia O'Vera just coming forward and telling the truth, she is having all of these Ku Klux Klan members chasing me around and setting me up with every establishment for me to not get medical care and to be forced outside on the streets so that she could cover up raping my little boy with white men and gangs. So the Ku Klux Klan is in Cynthia Vera. They have the Harris Health Bentop Hospital denying that I am pregnant for racism. I have 24 YouTube platforms where I have been releasing the information about the Ku Klux Klan raping my little boy with Cynthia O'Vera and about my pregnancy. The evidence of the baby being alive is all over my YouTube channels where they are ignoring the evidence and then they are trying to abuse my baby to death everywhere that I go here in Houston, Texas. I have tweeted hundreds of tweets about Cynthia O'Vera raping my little boy, and they just keep staging me outside on the streets, surrounding me with all of these civilians, trying to set me up to be murdered because they said they raped my little boy to death. The information is also on TikTok, where my case has gotten millions of views on TikTok telling about Cynthia O'Vera raping my little boy, and they try to stop me from uploading videos on TikTok, continuing to show them trying to abuse the baby to death, where I have the information still up on TikTok, but I'm not really uploading on TikTok as much. They are involved with trying to help her cover up raping my little boy, and they are involved with trying to abuse my pregnancy for racism. They are trying to stop me from winning the multimillion-dollar lawsuit about my pregnancy and Cynthia O'Vera raping my little boy. I have been putting the information on Pinterest since 2021, I believe, and I just pretty much kept the information archived. I kept it for me to go back and use it as a reference about certain information that had been removed, that was telling about lawyers Dean Gehring and William Harrison that were involved with abducting my little boy through Tracy Gilbert's courtroom for Cynthia O'Vera and the KKK to rape my little boy, instead of them representing me, who actually was the victim in the case where I needed to be protected by the city from Austin Meador, and my son needed protection, but they helped Cynthia Vera abduct my little boy and rape him, where they are now involved with the entire country trying to set me up to be murdered because they helped kidnap my baby to rape my baby to death for racism. The information is also on a platform called Tumblr, where I was showing that when I went back to Conroe to try to resolve the case in Conroe, they were having the Conroe police trying to set me up to be murdered as I was trying to get reestablished in the city of Conroe, where they took my baby, saying they were raping my baby to death for racism. And I was putting the information on Tumblr showing the Conroe police trying to set me up to be murdered. The Holy Spirit is showing me with the baby alive. The baby is alive in me right now as I am sitting in the Taco Bell. And I have been carrying the baby since the shooting, September 18th, 2018. So they have been abusing my baby that long in my body. And God is saying that they have to pay me a $180 million settlement. And they are surrounding me, trying to stop me from hearing from the Holy Spirit, where they're forcing me to sleep outside, and then they are swarming around trying to make noise so they could try to stop God from helping me with my case. I have also fallen in love with a man that is famous. The problem is that he is letting them try to starve the baby. I have been going to public libraries and releasing the information about my case, but they have infiltrated the public library system where they surrounded me in the areas where I was homeless going to the public library. Then they were trying to have black men get violent with me where I came to the area where I am now. It's like there are more of them surrounding me now than they were in the area where I was recently on Fondren Road. So, in this video, where I did see myself holding a baby, and the baby did not have any birth defects in the spirit, and the baby is alive, where I have been filming the baby kicking. So, I'm going to also leave some video clips of the baby and the screenshots of when the videos were taken. My channels show the evidence. The 22 channels that I have subscribed to from my news channel, they have the evidence of how long they have been abusing the pregnancy and how long I have been asking for help while they've been abusing the pregnancy. So they are trying to stop me from getting medical care so they can try to stop us from winning the lawsuit about the pregnancy and the lawsuit about them raping my little boy. And they're just trying to X me and the baby out. These are the recent videos I released, and they are trying to starve us, and they're trying to kill us, they're trying to set us up everywhere. And then they are having a woman named Beyonce Knowles that is a devil worshiper. They're having her involved with trying to stage me outside continuously for the KKK, the White Masonic Brotherhood, who is affiliated with her, where she is trying to help them cover up raping my child. I have also been releasing information about the people that are all involved with them raping my little boy, about my newfound love life, about the other people that are coming for me about my love life. They don't want anybody to care about me in the country. And I saw in the spirit that he wanted to be the father, but he has been embarrassed of me, where he did not want to come out and admit that he loved me in front of the country. We fell in love in the spirit, and there was a lot of drama that was involved with women that were trying to humiliate me as I was putting out the information about them raping my little boy. So I went back and forth with them a little bit on social media. I had put the information on Instagram, where I had told about my family, my sisters that are involved in raping my little boy. And I ended up getting locked out of my Instagram account. But I had put the information on two Instagram accounts, and somehow I got locked out of both of them. These are the video clips of the baby alive in me, as I was getting the screenshots of when the videos were taken. The fire department or ambulances, somebody started running sirens. That's how they are doing operations around me. Well, these videos are the videos of the baby kicking where God said that I have a multi-million-dollar lawsuit about my pregnancy. God said that you can see the baby kicking in my videos that are all over my social media platforms. The Lord recently said that the lawsuit about my pregnancy is $180 million. And then God said the lawsuit about them raping my little boy is $70 million. I am currently about to go and sleep at a bus stop with people surrounding me with the baby alive in me. These are the screenshots in my phone, which is basically showing what is going on day to day, that I am pregnant. I am not in someone's home. They would not allow me to stay in their home. So people are staging me on the streets because the baby is alive in me and Cynthia Vera was raping my little boy. So these are the screenshots and these are the dates. As you see, I'm holding my belly, July 13, 2023. These are screenshots of the baby kicking in me. And it says July 10, 2023. These are the shots that are being shown in the videos. I have many shots in my phone of the baby kicking alive in me, and it's all over social media. So this person only let me stay the night, but they won't let me live so that I can have somewhere to live. And they're only bringing me to locations trying to set me up. So I'm living on the street and I'm pregnant. So they are denying me the medical care in the hospitals and in Bentop Hospital, St. Luke's Hospital. They are denying me the medical care in Conroe, at HCA Hospital and Conroe Regional Hospital. They denied me the medical care for the baby in Houston, Texas, in St. Luke's Hospital. It's really cold inside of the Taco Bell now, and it's making me stopped up. But in Houston, Texas, Bentop Hospital and St. Luke's Hospital, they denied me the medical care for the baby, and everybody is trying to starve me and try to stop me from winning the lawsuit about the pregnancy, that are trying to help Cynthia O'Vera cover up raping my little boy. So I am constantly filming my body, showing that I am pregnant, showing the size of the baby bump, that I've been being abused with the baby alive in me. And then I am continuously filming the clips of the baby kicking alive in me, and they're just abusing me, making me walk around the city with the baby alive in me, and they are trying to make me appear as a drug addict on the streets, where they're plotting every day, all day, on my hair and my makeup. They are constantly trying to make me look dirty as I am walking around asking people to help us with food, and they swindled me out of my benefits. Hospitals in Baytown, Texas lied about my pregnancy, and St. Luke's Hospital lied about my pregnancy. They tried to kill the baby, but I didn't let them. CPS, they are lying about them raping my little boy and letting them abuse my baby. Conroe Regional refused us medical care. They abused us in the Montgomery County Jail, and they said they were raping my little boy to death. So I have a $250 million lawsuit. Bentop Hospital refused us medical care. Even the Salvation Army will not allow us into the shelter for the Ku Klux Klan. I am about to order some food, and then I am going to leave this establishment, then go to the location at a bus stop where I slept last night. I am not going to release this video tonight because it is already 9 o'clock p.m. and it's going to take time for the video to save. My cell phone is not all the way charged. Then I will have to stand on my feet and go and load it on the Wi-Fi somewhere, and I am pregnant with a baby alive in me, and it hurts me to have to stand up outside of restaurants that are closed to load up videos on my channel just for people to keep surrounding me, trying to abuse me. So I'm going to keep some faith in my God, and I'm going to wait to release this video. If God wants me to add anything to the video, then I will add anything that I see from the Holy Spirit while I'm asleep. But that's going to be very hard because they are deliberately swarming past me by like the hundreds and the thousands past a neighborhood street that is very quiet on a normal basis, so they can try to wake me out of my sleep because they are trying to kill the baby and they are trying to help Cynthia cover up raping my child. They are trying to set me up like I am a drug addict, a mental patient, a bum, and a prostitute, and they are trying to set me up to be killed. They do not want the Holy Spirit to help me at all. They do not want me to see anything from God at all. So if God can squeeze in anything for me to tell in my video before I post it, I will. But if not, I'll just update it about my safety and then I'll post it. While I was asleep, I saw a YouTube video with Meek Mill sticking up his middle fingers. And then the title of the video said something about a song. And then it said something about, will you marry me? Then I went back to sleep and I saw all of these videos, and there was a male speaking to me in the spirit, and he was scrolling through videos, and they were videos of women. It looked like it was YouTube, and the women were trying to tell on Offset. I saw all these prostitutes, and it's not like the women that look like the women in these screenshots of these videos. These women look like prostitutes. So I tell you what I saw. How did they look? I saw women that were all ethnicities. They had on whore clothing and dresses, heels. Some of them did not have professional makeup or their hair done professionally. They all looked like they just pretty much put themselves together. They didn't look like women that you see on TV. They were somewhat pretty or beautiful, desirable for sex, but they were prostitutes. The women had hair weave. Some of them had natural hair. I remember seeing a video where these women looked like they were all on the train, like the MORTAR train in Atlanta, Georgia. And they were all dressed in prostitute dresses and clothing. And there was one in the front. She was like Hispanic, very light skinned with long, curly, kinky hair. And she was looking, sexy with her legs open, but she didn't have her hair done like the stars or anything like that. She looked like a prostitute. I sensed that these women were from all over the country. There were prostitutes from New York City. There were prostitutes from Atlanta, Georgia. There were prostitutes from California, from LA. But I did not know exactly who they were. Some of their faces were covered. There were women that were showing their faces, but then there were women whose faces were being blurred. And one of the Hispanic women, her face was blurred out. The women started behaving very erratically, and they started showing sores inside of their mouths. They had contracted STDs, I believe, from Offset. I heard the man in the spirit saying that the women could not get their stories out because of his celebrity, I believe. I saw one woman, she looked like a light-skinned black woman, and she opened up her mouth and started showing her lips on the inside to point at sores in the video. Then the spirit scrolled up to another woman and she pulled down her bottom lip and her teeth were like jagged, and then she was showing her gums as if some sort of disease had affected her gums. They were all behaving as if they were trying to tell on him. Like, we're trying to tell on Offset, we're all trying to tell on Offset. And then there was an operation where there were people that were trying to abuse the women. The people were abusing the women all over the place so that they can cover up how many women that it was. I saw 30 women in one video, and then I saw a woman by herself, and then I saw another video with like 30 women. It was like hundreds of them. There were so many women, multiple women opening their mouths and showing sores on the inside of their bottom lips. The women were being abused. I saw that someone was controlling the women. There were people, a number of people, that were controlling the women to abuse them, to try to keep them quiet and keep them from speaking out, to try to abuse them to not be normal people in society, but to tear them down on the streets and in the cities where they have been sexual with this man, that after they had sex with him and found out the truth about him, or that he had given them something in the spirit, I believe, that they started tearing the women down and abusing the women. I saw them trying to abuse the women really bad to try to keep them from speaking out, to try to keep them from being able to say what it was that happened between them and Offset on videos. Then I saw that the spirit showed me videos of women that had been speaking out against him for years. And then the spirit said that he has been doing this for a long time and that they have been trying to cover it up for years. And something about Cardi B. I saw that it is as bad as it is because people were trying to cover it up. And then I saw the operations that they did to cover it up was to try to erase the dozens of women that he had done it with. The spirit just kept scrolling, and I just kept seeing nothing but prostitutes, and they were opening their mouths and showing sores. And then I heard the spirit say something about an it said FJ page, where it says F/J. And then there were other pages that were getting more views that were seen as like a content creator page, where I guess if you have a personal YouTube channel, they're not really getting the views as like a musician or someone that is supposedly a professional content creator. And then it said FYP for your page. And then it was like for your page, but it said because you have an FJ account, you have an FJ account. And it was showing like there are other accounts that are exposing this information that are getting hundreds and thousands of views, but you have the truth. But your channel is not getting that many views because it's not being seen as a professional YouTube account. I felt like there was some sort of breakthrough in my life as I was seeing all of the videos of the prostitutes in the spirit, because there were far more than what you see on social media. I went looking for them and I couldn't find the hundreds of women that were trying to speak out or the women that said that they had contracted STDs. And then I saw something about DDG and cheating as well. I saw DDG's name and I saw women that looked like prostitutes that were saying things about STDs. They were showing sores in their mouths and on their gums. And the women were by the dozens. There were a lot of them. I saw DDG. I saw his name in big letters on the videos in like yellow text or something. And I saw a lot of prostitutes. Then I remember them saying that I did not have a page that was getting the professional traffic, and it said something like I had an FJ page or something like that. I recall seeing a male that was light brown skin with kind of short dreadlocks, like the curly kinky hair texture, looking kind of like Twist. And it said DDG, and there were women that were trying to expose him on the videos.